Dungeon of the Endless was released back in 2014 by Amplitude Studios. It describes itself as a roguelike dungeon defense game, which is an unusual word to follow up roguelike dungeon, but it's not just marketing speak. Dungeon of the Endless borrows elements from many different genres of games to create something completely unique, but at the same time so expertly designed that it all fits together flawlessly. It's an awesome game that I keep coming back to, so I wanted to talk about it. The premise of the game is this. A prison spaceship is shot down by an orbital defense system, and the escape pods crash deep into the sub-basements of an ancient alien facility on the planet's surface. Your run starts with 2 of these surviving prisoners. Your goal is to find the elevator on each floor, power it up with your escape pod's energy crystal, and try to reach the surface. The way the game plays at first glance is almost like a real-time strategy. You have 3 resources to manage: industry, which lets you build things, science, which lets you research better things to build, and food, which lets you level up and heal your characters. As you explore the randomly generated floors, you'll encounter different kinds of rooms, and the most precious ones are the ones with a module slot in the center. These allow you to build an industry, science, or food generator. But despite you being able to move freely, in real time throughout the dungeon, the resource generation, and really this entire game, is turn-based, or rather door-based. It's best understood on an example. At the start of each floor, you start inside a single room with a couple of doors. Your crystal provides a base income of resources, but they do not increase over time. Income in this game only happens when you open a door. So you explore a couple of rooms, build a couple of generators, but then you run into another problem. There is one more resource that is different from all the others: dust. Dust in this world is used as basically electricity, and you need it to power up rooms so that your technology can function. Unlike the other 3 resources, dust is reset between each floor, and you will never have enough to power every single room. This is important because this game follows the golden Minecraft rule. Unlit rooms are dangerous. You are not alone. The alien inhabitants are not too happy with your violent entry, and with each new room you open, the more greedily you explore to get more ticks of that sweet door-based economy, the more of them will come. And if all your people die, or they manage to destroy your crystal, it's game over. This is where the minor modules come in. You see the small blue slots? That's where you put your defenses. Turrets, slow fields, ways to buff your heroes, and even bigger turrets. And I can hear you nod to yourself. Ah, so it's a tower defense game. Well, not exactly. There are many different kinds of enemies. Some attack whatever they run into, some try to rush your crystal, some try to kill your heroes, and some purely focus on destroying your modules. And if you overfocus on industry and buildings, your heroes will end up very weak and unable to defend your precious technology. So the heroes play an absolutely key role in surviving the dungeon. They each have their own stats and abilities that they unlock or improve as they level up, and they can fulfill a variety of roles. Some characters are great fighters. They can tank a lot of damage, boost your turrets, or wipe out entire rooms of enemies by themselves. Other characters are supportive, like operators, who can increase your income by staying in a room with a resource generator. There are fast, agile characters, ideal for exploring through large unlit corridors. There are characters that can help you generate more dust. Overall, there are 28 heroes in total. You start with 2, and eventually you can recruit up to 4 as you find them wandering the dungeon. And different team compositions can pretty drastically change how you play your runs and the strategy you'll focus on. Each of these heroes can also equip items that you loot from ransacking the poor aliens' facilities, which you can even trade with merchants you run into. It's a lot of RPG mechanics for a real-time, turn-based, tower defense strategy game. But ultimately, I think Dungeon of the Endless is a resource management game. You don't have enough food, your heroes are weak, you lose. Not enough science, you fall behind in technology, you lose. Not enough industry, well, that's the worst. You can't build anything, you lose. And striking the right balance is difficult, because this mix of genres means you can't carry over that much knowledge from other games. You have to mostly build it up from nothing. This makes the game a fun challenge, but also potentially frustrating. You see, Dungeon of the Endless has only 2 difficulties: easy and too easy. This kind of sets the tone for what experience you should expect. And it's also pretty funny, because it plays on your gamer ego. I personally take pride and find a lot of joy in difficult games and overcoming their challenges. So it already feels wrong to play on easy, and I feel physically incapable of playing on too easy. But this game will humble you. Over the 70+ hours I've played of this game, a lot of it went like this. I would play a couple of runs, not get very far, get confused, frustrated, and quit. Come back a month later, repeat the process, and so on. It's definitely a difficult game, in large part because there's a massive knowledge gap that you need to slowly learn through trial and error before you can succeed. There is of course RNG, the research you are offered is randomized, heroes you encounter are random, items and floors are random, but it is ultimately skill-based. I can now consistently win on easy because I learned a lot of small tricks that altogether end up making a huge difference. For example, you can block enemies from spawning by having one hero stand in an unlit room. This is very important, particularly at the beginning of floors, especially the higher you get, because dust gets scarcer as you get near the surface, so you can power up veilless rooms, and creating choke points is crucial for survival. If you have to defend from 4 directions at once, it's not going to end well. Dungeon of the Endless also heavily punishes greed. Sometimes I would know that I am about to explore the entire floor, so I would not want to spend the industry on a couple of extra turrets. And then the next enemy wave punches through, destroys all your generators, eats half of your dust, and kills one of your heroes. Runs can just go from perfectly fine to absolute ruin so quickly if you are not careful. The good news is that you can pause in this game at any point, so you always have enough time to make the best decisions if you possess the knowledge. And if after this segment you are thinking, well, maybe this game is not for me actually, let me tell you why you are wrong. There is one aspect I didn't mention yet that makes playing this game worth it by itself. It is the reason for why, if I had to compare Dungeon of the Endless to any other game, I would compare it to Faster Than Light, which to me is a Hall of Famer. Without a doubt, one of the best games ever released. But while both of these games have great gameplay, fun systems and mechanics, what really elevates them to something special is the looks, the audio, the atmosphere that the game creates. Dungeon of the Endless is beautiful. Despite the game coming out in 2014, it has a timeless, pixelated graphic style. But to me, the most impressive part is the lighting and the shadows. Because man, they look so cool in this game sometimes, especially in unlit rooms. RTX my ass, this game runs on a toaster, but it sells these sci-fi environments so well. And then you have the music. You've been hearing it in the background, and it's just perfect. It's very high-tech, alien sounding, very mysterious. Ideal for the downtime during the exploration. And then once you pick up the crystal, and make a desperate run to the elevator, it can get serious and intense really quickly. It cannot be understated how key to the experience the sound is in this game. And it's what made me want to always jump back in and explore this weird, amazing, hostile alien complex. It's the kind of soundtrack that will stick with you and that will make you feel nostalgia listening to it years later. And there's even more great things about this game. The UI feels so nice to play with. You can use regular WASD to move around the map, or you can use scroll wheel to pull back into an overview map of the entire floor and then seamlessly zoom back in wherever you need. It's simple, but it makes navigating feel 10 times as good. There are also various game modes that you can choose that change the rule set of the game, but to be honest, I just like playing the regular game the most. There's really only one thing that I don't like about this game. Well, firstly, there's co-op in this game, but apparently it's kind of bugged and doesn't work very well. You probably don't want to get this game for the co-op. But what I don't like is the lack of information this game provides with hero level ups. The heroes in this game are predetermined. They always have the same stats, same skills that they unlock at specific levels. And when you hover over the level up button, it will show you the stats that you'll gain and a question mark indicating a new active or passive ability, but that's it. What about the next level? Can this character learn to operate? Can they learn to repair my modules? And when? On what level? Hiding this information is clearly by design, but here I think it just makes the game worse. You will never have enough food to level up all of your heroes, so deciding which ones to focus on is an important strategical decision that is impossible to make with the tools provided by the game. It is the bad kind of knowledge burden. Just memorize all the heroes, right? Well, I still can't do that after over 70 hours. But ultimately, this is a minor inconvenience on an otherwise, I dare say, pretty much flawless game. It's weird, it's difficult, it's awesome, it's never been tried before, and probably never will again. Actually, scratch that. In 2023, after 9 years, Amplitude Studios came out with Endless Dungeon. Ooh. And they made it an action top-down shooter game. I played the demo for it. It's fine, but the name made me hope for more. Thankfully, like I said, Dungeon of the Endless is timeless. It doesn't need a continuation or any remakes. It stands on its own. Perhaps a lightning in a bottle, never to be captured again. Just like Faster Than Light. Although, funnily enough, that one seems to have finally spawned a successor. If you've never played Dungeon of the Endless, it would make me happy if you gave it a try, because such a unique, great game doesn't deserve to be forgotten.